Hi, Happy New Year. So this video is actually going to be fully done on voiceovers because I filmed this actually on Christmas Eve when the house was full of humans and dogs and there was a moment's peace to be had, so I thought I would just film and then record over. So this is just getting ready for Christmas Eve dinner before I was about to embark on cooking for 7 people. So I'm starting off with the NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer. I love this primer. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's kind of really good moisturizing, really good sticky to hold on your foundation and a nice glow. Then going on to the base, doing my current absolute standard mix of Glotion from L'Oreal, but then actually this time using the Armani Luminous Skin Silk Foundation, which is not one I use very much. It's one that people rave about. I so often see it written as people's sort of absolute ride or die foundation. I have to say, when I first used it, I wasn't that big of a fan. So I've actually had this sitting in my cupboard for a while. Especially on its own, I find it's a bit, for me, it just feels too full coverage and cakey. But actually, like this, sheared out with, something like a Glotion or a bit of moisturizer, it's not too bad. And actually, because I had it out at Christmas, I've worn it a few times in the last week or two. And actually, I quite liked it. So maybe I was just being really harsh when I first tried it and did not like it at all, because I do like the finish when it's got something else in it to kind of make it a bit smoother and sheerer. But as you can see, it's a nice kind of skin-like glowy, but not too much. Oh, and then I forgot to film that bit. So I just went in with my normal bronzer and blusher mix. So the bronzer is the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector in 04 Deep. And then the blush, which is looking very blushy here, is the Rare Beauty liquid blush, I think, in Happy. And then, yeah, you can see I'm just here mixing a bit of my concealer with a bit of the bronzer to cover up that rather stubborn blemish and make it the right colour. And the concealer, which you can see I've got on my eyes, is the Kosas Revealer Concealer, which I have talked about before. I love it. It's a really nice kind of non-creasing, I would say kind of light to mid coverage concealer. It is buildable if you want to go more full coverage, if you've got sort of stubborn shadows or anything you want to cover up. So put it out in all the areas around my nose or my mouth where I want it sort of, where I have a bit of redness or want to keep the colour on. I'm then going in with a bit of the Hourglass Ambient Concealer on top. Now, as you can see, this is quite a light colour for me, but it means it works really nicely as a kind of brightening concealer, just in that kind of inner eye bit where I've got sort of the deeper shadows under my eyes and, sort of in my forehead, just to kind of lift and brighten just that front bit. But especially this time of year, it looks nice. And again, it's a really nice kind of non-creasing, non-cakey concealer. Bit of lip balm whilst I'm doing the rest of my face. This is the Laneige Glowy Lip Balm. Love it. It goes everywhere with me in my bag. Can't rate those highly enough. Then Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter Powder in the shade 01. First of all, just make sure I've got no creases left in the concealer, otherwise you will literally bake them in. And then on a powder puff, because I want really smooth under eyes given we're hosting people for dinner tonight. And as you can see, hopefully it does really kind of smooth out the under eye and give it a really nice kind of flawless finish. Then using my standard sort of big brush with the same Airbrush Flawless filter just all over the rest of the face, basically, just to set everywhere where my foundation is, particularly because I need this to last whilst I am cooking. Then on to highlighter. I probably should have done this before the powder. Actually, this stuff goes on pretty well either under or over, to be fair to it. So it's the Rare Beauty liquid highlighter. That's in the shade Enlighten, which is the lightest one. I love this highlighter. I've got it in mini forms in different colours. This one probably is my favourite one, just for the most beautiful glow. You can also mix it directly in with your foundation to kind of give your foundation more of that dewy look. But I just like the high points of my brow bone and cheekbones to lift it. So yeah, there we go, looking glowy, happy with that. Then in with powder bronzer. So this is the NARS Laguna 01. So obviously, as you've probably seen in most of my videos, when I want my makeup to last, which obviously today I do, given I'm going to be cooking, you go into cream products, bronzer, blusher, etc., and then powder over the top to really lock it in. So as you can see, I'm putting in powder bronzer everywhere where I had the cream bronzer. Also definitely using it to blend my makeup down my neck because my body is very much in the midst of its winter paleness. So I wanted to kind of slightly more blend in with my face. Then for blusher, today I'm using the Rare Beauty Soft Touch Luminous Blush in the shade Happy. I love these blushes. Again, I mean, everything by Rare Beauty I seem to really like, especially their face products. But yeah, it's quite a glowy blush, so you can really see it's got sort of a real sort of shimmery look to it as well. And then I'm just over the top, just a tiny bit of the Made by Mitchell blush pod, just a little bit, which is this is the shade Peach Cobbler. I think I just wanted to make it a bit more of a corally peachy finish, not so pinky. So I'll just put a little bit on, and then as ever, I feel like I put too much on, so I'm going back in with a big fluffy brush to actually just take off the excess and blend it all in together nicely. Yeah, happy with that. And then, right, going now into the eyes. So the Armani eye tints, I've got them in 22M, which is Cashew, which is this brown colour, which I mean, you've seen it in probably all my videos recently. It's a really nice eye base. It helps the eyeshadows stay on. It doesn't crease, it doesn't move. And they're so easy and blendable to put on. I'm just putting it on the outer sort of 2/3 of my eyes because I'm going to use a paler one in the middle in a second. As you can see, it takes very minimal effort to put on. And then the other one is in the shade 12S, which is this kind of pale goldy colour, which, yeah, I put on the inner third and just sort of blend across the middle with the darker shade. And I'm going to put eyeshadow over the top, but these really help hold it all together. And make it last and not crease, etc. Then going into the eyeshadow. So this is a Beauty Bay mattes eyeshadow palette. As you can see, it's just got all the sort of browns, neutrals, mainly a few cool tone, a few warm tone. This is kind of a mid-tone brown, which I'm just using to do the crease. I have quite hooded eyes, so I always put the colour of my crease kind of up above where my natural crease is, because otherwise when I open my eyes, you literally wouldn't be able to see it. It'd be buried in the fold of my eyelid. So I put it sort of quite high up towards my brow, so that it really, is sort of visible and kind of defines the eye. And then, yeah, on the outer third of the actual lid as well. Then in with a paler colour, really just to help blend out that line, so I don't have a very obvious sort of darker line just ending in the middle of my brow bone. And yeah, just kind of really blending is the most important thing with eyeshadows, just to make sure everything is diffused and no harsh lines. Then the darker brown, I'm just putting again right into that very outside corner and a bit up into the outer crease, just to give the eye some shape and definition. Then going into the slightly smaller brush, again with that dark brown, just to pull it along the lash line, and give the eye just that bit more definition along the lashes. So I'm being quite sort of haphazard. There's no, I quite like a sort of a smoky look, so I'm not being overly precise with that. Now going in with this awesome palette, which is the Revolution. I think it's called the Goddess Sun palette. Revolution, I have to say, they do very good eyeshadow pigments for the price point they are, which is pretty low. As you can see here, this is the darkest kind of reddish colour. The colour is, and the shimmer and the payoff is really good, and they last really well. So, I am a massive fan of a shimmer eyeshadow. I have, ranging from, super expensive down to, this is probably one of the cheapest ones I have. But as you can see here, the colour is gorgeous and it's really buttery, really soft to apply. You don't have to sort of, dip it in too hard or drag it back and forth. The colour payoff is great. The staying power is very strong. And yeah, I really can't recommend these ones enough. Getting into the sort of the lighter goldier colour, just on the inner sort of third of my eye, just to brighten up that inner corner. and blending it out into the middle with the red. And then with my finger, I'm going into that sort of really bright peachy corally shade just over the middle, just to really kind of amp up the colour and the brightness and the shimmer over the middle of the lid. As you can see now here, that now looks really kind of lit up in the centre, which I like. Then going back into the matte Beauty Bay palette to go underneath, starting off with the mid brown, just to define the lower lash line, and really sort of pull the whole kind of look together basically. And then with the darker shade, again, just more at the outer edge, just to kind of define that side. And yeah, just keeping the mid brown to sort of the middle, and I don't make it too dark, you know, I want it to be relatively subtle. And then going back into the shimmer one with that dark red shimmer again, which is what I had on the outer edge of the upper eye, in the middle, just to, again, make it into a sort of a cohesive whole, and pull the whole look together. Then using the Made by Mitchell All Smudge No Budge, this is in his neutral nude colour, and using this for the lower waterline, just to really brighten the eyes. And if you're looking at the weird breathing I'm doing on it, it's just to warm it up slightly and melt it so it goes on easily. Then the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner, which is brilliant. Similarly, just doing the upper waterline, just to really define the lash line without covering up any of the actual eyelid, because I've got hooded eyes. You know, I want to keep as much of the colour visible as possible on the upper lid. So putting that eyeliner in the waterline defines without covering anything up. Then onto eyebrows. This is pretty much what I do every day. So this is the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 3.5, which is sort of a mid brown. Sorry, it's not Gimme Brow, it's Precisely My Brow, which is their very fine brow pencil. Honestly, it's the best, one of the best ones I've ever used. I always use it. And then got a bit dark there, a bit Groucho Marx, but brush back through and kind of shade it out a bit. And then that's the Gimme Brow, which I think I have in the shade 3, which is kind of a gel just to hold it all in place and yeah, get it to last. Then I am using just a touch of liquid eyeliner, quite a thin line. This is in, again, Made by Mitchell. He does do good eyeliner products. So this is in the Graph Ink in the shade Brownie Points, which is like a very, very dark, sort of quite a cool tone brown. But as you can see, I'm really just keeping it to the outer half of my eye. I don't pull it into the middle so much, just to sort of help define and give that slightly more dramatic look, because it is Christmas Eve. Now highlighter, in case you thought I was ever going to go out without highlighter on. This is, again, the Rare Beauty powder highlighter in the shade Enlighten, so it matches the shade of the liquid highlighter I've got underneath, but just really kind of ups the ante. Also helps kind of blur any, if I did have any eyeshadow that wasn't very well blended up there, kind of helps blur and cover that up on the brow bone. And yeah, God, you can see the reflect there. I love that glow look. It's not for everyone. I love highlighter on the cheekbone. I love it when I see it. Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray in Ultra Matte. Liberal spraying to keep it on. And then, yeah, a very Instagram-worthy fan moment. Just to help dry it quickly so it doesn't drip off my face. And then last but not least, eyelash curlers. I can't remember to be honest what make those are. I think I got them free, possibly Doll Beauty, possibly. And then Sky High mascara by Maybelline in the shade True Brown. So, which actually I think, and hopefully you would agree, even though it's quite a dramatic look, actually it doesn't necessarily need black mascara. You know, I'm cooking, I don't need, you know, it's kind of friends coming over for dinner, so it doesn't need to be too full on. So actually the brown mascara works really well, especially with these orangey corally tones I've gone for today, just to kind of give it that drama, but not sort of too harsh. I've really become a big advocate of brown mascara and dark brown eyeliner in the last few years. moved away if I used to always be black, but it's actually, I think the brown is a really nice kind of slightly softer, especially with bright blue eyes and corally eyeshadow. It's a nice kind of change from always wearing black eyeliner and mascara. So this is the look pretty much finished at this point. And just wiping off a bit of my lip balm, going in with the Maybelline Lifter Liner in Big Lift, which is this nice kind of pinky neutral nudie shade. Works really well as a slight kind of, I can slightly overline the lips, which I always like doing a bit, and it lasts really well. So I'm going to be eating and drinking tonight, and this will kind of last well. As you can see there, it's a nice finish. And then this is one of the e.l.f. new kind of shimmer lip oils, which I'm really enjoying. And this is the kind of the peachy shade, which again ties in with the peachy eyeshadows. There we go. Finished look. Merry Christmas. Bye.